If you clicked on this video because you want to know how to pay zero taxes legally, you're in the right place. Yes, you heard that right. I paid $0 in federal taxes last year, and I did it 100% legally. If you want to know how, stick around because I'm going to break it all down in plain, simple English. Now you might be thinking, is this even possible? Is this some kind of trick? Or maybe you're just curious about how some people seem to pay so little in taxes while regular people like us get stuck with huge bills. Trust me, I used to wonder the same thing. But after years of studying the tax code and learning from experience, I discovered the real secrets. And today, I'm sharing them with you. Let me start with a question. How much did you pay in taxes last year? For most people, the answer is way too much. But what if I told you that it's possible, completely possible, to pay zero in federal taxes, even if you're making a lot of money? That's not a fantasy. That's exactly what I did last year. I'm an entrepreneur and a tax strategist. Last year I made over $11 million, and yet I paid zero in federal taxes. How? By using the same legal strategies that the rich and successful use every year. Before I get into those strategies, let me tell you a little bit about how I got here. Growing up, I watched my mom dominate the tax industry. She was a legend, speaking on TV, writing books, and helping people save thousands on their taxes. I wanted to be just like her. But when I started my own business as a personal trainer, I made a huge mistake. I didn't report all my income. Then one day, I got a letter from the IRS saying I owed more money than I had in my bank account. That was a scary wake-up call. I called my mom and she asked me, "Why didn't you set up an LLC? Why didn't you call me for help?" That's when I realized I needed to learn the rules of the game. I moved back in with my parents, started working in my mom's business, and began soaking up everything I could about taxes. One day, I watched my mom close 3 tax planning deals with $20,000 each in just 3 hours. That's $60,000 in a single afternoon. I was blown away. I wanted that kind of success, but I knew I needed to learn more. So I started recording her sales calls, transcribing them, and using them to build my own skills. Eventually, I got my tax license and started helping others save money too. Here's what most people don't realize. The tax code isn't just a list of rules for taking your money. It's actually a giant book of incentives. The government wants you to do certain things like start businesses, invest in real estate, and create jobs, so they reward you with tax breaks if you do them. But nobody teaches you this in school. Most people just fill out their tax forms, pay whatever the IRS says, and never think about it again. But if you take the time to learn the rules, you can save a fortune. If you're an entrepreneur, the first step is to set up an LLC. But here's where it gets interesting. Once your business starts making real money, you can convert that LLC into an S Corp. Why does this matter? Because S Corps let you split your income between salary and distributions. You can pay payroll taxes on your salary, not on the distributions. Let's say your business makes $100,000. You can pay yourself a reasonable salary of $40,000. You can pay payroll taxes on that amount. The other $60,000 comes to you as a distribution, which isn't hit with payroll taxes. This simple move can save you thousands of dollars every year. Real estate is one of the most powerful tools for reducing your taxes. Here's why. When you buy a property, the IRS lets you depreciate it. That means you can write off a portion of the property's value every year, even if it goes up in value. For example, if you buy a rental property for $300,000, you might be able to write off around $10,000 or more every year as depreciation. That's money you never have to pay on taxes. And if you're really active in real estate, meaning you spend enough time managing your properties, you can use those losses to offset your income. Like the money you make from your job or business. This is how I'm able to take a lot of my income off of my tax returns. I use depreciation and other real estate strategies to wipe out my taxable income. Another powerful strategy is income shifting. This means moving money in smart ways so you pay less tax overall. One example is hiring your kids to work in your business. As long as they actually do real work, you can pay them a salary, and that salary is a tax deduction for you. Plus, your kids pay taxes at a much lower rate. Let's say you pay your kid $10,000 a year for helping with your business. You get a $10,000 deduction, and your child pays almost nothing in taxes because of their standard deduction. It's a win-win. Here's the thing. None of these strategies work if you wait until tax season to start thinking about them. I start my tax planning at the beginning of every year. I look for ways to shift income, use depreciation, and find new deductions all year long. If you want to pay less in taxes, you have to plan ahead. That means keeping good records, tracking your expenses, and staying organized. The earlier you start, the more you can save. If you're just starting out and making $50,000 to $100,000 a year, your strategies are pretty simple. Write off your home office, your car, maybe hire your kids. But as you make more money, your strategies get more advanced. Millionaires set up corporations, move money between them, buy large assets, and use complex real estate strategies. When I was just starting, I could only help people making $100,000. But once I got my tax license and started working with millionaires, I saw how deep the game goes. The wealthy use every legal tool available to keep more of their money. It wasn't always easy for me. When I started out, I made mistakes, big ones. Not reporting all my income as a personal trainer got me in trouble with the IRS. I felt overwhelmed and scared. But instead of giving up, I decided to learn everything I could about taxes. I watched my mom help people save tens of thousands of dollars. I studied the tax code every day, and I realized that anyone can use these strategies. You just have to be willing to learn. As I grew my business, I started working with bigger clients. I remember the first time I met a millionaire worth $100 million. I didn't know how to help him, and I felt humbled. But instead of giving up, I kept learning. I studied more, got more experience, and eventually started helping millionaires save millions in taxes. Here's the truth. You don't have to be a millionaire to use these strategies. Anyone can start. The tax code is complicated, but it's full of opportunities for people who are willing to learn and plan ahead. Start with the basics, set up the right business structure, look into real estate, and use every deduction you can. As you grow, keep leveling up your tax game. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Working with a good tax professional can make a huge difference. So, can you really pay zero in taxes legally? Yes, you can. But only if you use the right strategies, stay organized, and keep learning. Remember, the tax code is not your enemy. It's a tool. If you want to know how to use it, you can keep more of your hard-earned money and build real wealth. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on building wealth and keeping more of your money. Got questions? Drop them in the comments below. I'd like to help you out. And remember, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.